Hi you guys, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you for liking, subscribing, being here, being you, commenting, be the best you. There's only one of you here. Thank you for being a part of my dream and my journey, and for sharing your time and watching this video with me. So
Jalen Williams gotta jack one up, gotta be somebody. It's Wallace again, off on the three. Champagny the rebound, 8 seconds left. Fox has it, ahead to Vassell, who goes in for the dunk. And the San Antonio Spurs have done it.
y'all, we are at the end of the NBA season. We are now into the finals, so the Spurs and the Knicks will be in the finals, and they will be playing each other, and that is the last two teams that have made it from the West and the East. I do have other videos on here from the previous rounds if you want to go watch them. Hey, but today we're going to talk about Spurs and the Knicks. So this is not going to be too long, and we're also going to talk a little bit about the last round, right? Because I do want to say that the Knicks sweeping the Cavs 4-0 is genuinely crazy. I knew some shit like that was going to happen or something, or I thought it was going to be like the Knicks will win in like 5 or 6. Like, I was expecting the Cavs to at least win one game, but 0. And you blew that 20-point lead in the fourth quarter in that first game. What's going on here? You know, I feel like another team could have played that round or something. Because, like, that, especially with it being, what, the second, third round, like, that don't make no sense. That don't make no sense. And that, like, y'all just didn't bring it, y'all. And I even did watch those games, but they were boring because the Knicks, watching them, you could tell the Knicks was the more hungry, the more like I said, this is just the Knicks' year. Hey, it is what it is. You know, there's no Pacers, there's no Bucks. I'm trying to think who else on the East. The Celtics got beat out, you know, so you don't have none of those like of your rivalry teams or like the better teams, you know, or the teams that they lost to in the past. There's none of those teams this year. So you definitely could tell like the Knicks is probably gonna take it, but y'all, they gave up no fight. The Cavs, like, they gave up no fight. So I would start watching these games, and then as you can clearly see how the game is going, I honestly would turn it off. It was so boring. So sorry, Mr. Coco Jones, but just make sure Coco Jones back on my screen next season, okay? Keep that ring on it. And so yeah, then Thunder and the Spurs, whew. Yeah, I feel like I was on that team. I felt like I was on them teams. Like, I felt like I was playing like but no, for real, of course, the Thunder and the Spurs, if you watched it, it went all the way to game 7. Both teams won 3, and then they had to go to game 7, which was yesterday at the time that I'm recording this. Great series. I feel like it only had like 2 boring games, just in terms of like you know, like one game the Thunder would just be up and it was just their game, and obviously they were, you know, they just had the better game plan during that game, so they obviously were scoring, and it was like, okay, obviously the Thunder is gonna win this game. Then there was another game where it was the Spurs, right? Okay, obviously the Spurs is gonna win this game. They're already up. They already, you know, you could kind of see and tell. But other than that, first of all, that first game, double overtime, what a way to start, you know? And then that last game where, you know, the Spurs were up, but then OKC was catching up, but then the Spurs, it was very, very close. But dang, at the end, I just hope that the Spurs could get more of an organized game plan, if that makes sense, because sometimes, like, of course they have Wemby, and of course Wemby can be down in the paint, he can shoot threes, of course he's defense, and you know, it only takes him 2 skips to get across the whole court. Like, of course they have super Wemby, you know what I'm saying? But watching that team, obviously you see their other players, Harper and Fox, Stephon Castle, Harrison Barnes. You see like all their other players, and when all their other players are playing, all of them have like some type of, I don't know the word, but you know, all of them can shoot. They could play defense. They could do the steals and everything. But it's like they need to mesh together. And that's where I want like a more organized game plan. Like really sit down and figure out like what is your role. Of course, everybody's role is to shoot. Of course, everybody's role is take that 3-pointer. Of course, you know, but like really for real, whose role is this? You know what I'm saying? Like who's going to be shooting the 3-pointers? Or who's going to be the main two? Who's going to be down there getting in that paint? Who's going to be aggressive? Like, that is what I would like to see from the Spurs. And I understand that, like, the refs in OKC maybe made that hard this series because, obviously, OKC flops a lot. And the refs, that one game, the rest was definitely on OKC side. So, of course, there's not really, like, too much you can do when there's mad whistles blowing and stuff. And it's kind of throwing you off your game and your flow. And But, overall, I would like to see more of an organized thing from the Spurs. And I feel like that will help them beat the Knicks. So yeah, but Thunder and Spurs, that was great. I can't wait to see next year who comes out for the West. Once again, I feel like we have, you know, the Timberwolves. They keep on almost there, you know what I'm saying? And who knows, maybe they'll be up there next year. Who else does the West have? And you know what's funny? I thought San Antonio was like in California because I wasn't thinking about it. I was just hearing like San Antonio. And I was like, oh, California, Cali. But no, they're really Texas. I was like, oh, nah, this is a Texas team, which made me like them more because, but OKC is in Oklahoma. What the fuck is in Oklahoma? But yeah, I don't know why I'm thinking about that so hard. I've never been to either places. Maybe that's why I'm thinking about it so hard. Maybe I should go visit. But yeah, so but that it was like a great series and both teams brought it. Both teams had their strong suits and both teams had their good games and both teams also had their bad games. The Thunder also too definitely needed Jalen Williams. Y'all needed him. I feel like even last year, me personally, I thought Jalen Williams was MVP over Shai just because I feel like Jalen Williams stepped up. Like, when he needed to step up, he stepped up. Like, when he needed to be a backup SGA, like, he was there. He was doing it, making the shots, making the plays, being aggressive, going down to the paint, making shots, scoring. Like, Jalen Williams, they need the Thunder needs Jalen. And I know they also had, like, another ball handler out. Like, you know, people was injured and stuff. But, yeah, y'all needed Jalen. For sure. I'm like, if Jalen was playing out, it probably would have been a different game, a different series. But yeah, I don't know. I also think a lot of people on the Thunder this past game were a little lazy. And a little hostile. I don't know. But hey. So going into Knicks and the Spurs, here's my prediction. I really don't know because I have not seen them play against each other. But I do think that the Spurs have a great thing going on. And I do think that the Spurs can beat the Knicks. For sure. The Knicks, though, do have Jalen. Once again, Jalen, great scorer. And he, whenever it's crunch time, like, Jalen is there making points. You know, you down by 3. When 10 seconds left in the fourth quarter, give it to Jalen. You know, like, Jalen is that type of guy for the Knicks. And because of that, like, obviously, he could put a lot of points on the board and he could help and everything like that. But at the same time, once again, these Spurs, you could tell they're hungry. You could tell they're grateful. You could tell that they are actually a team and they're not taking this for granted. You could tell that they are growing. You could tell that they are learning. So I feel like it's kind of reminding me of the Pacers. Pacers are kind of the same thing, you know. They're a young team, but they learn, and with each game they grow. With each game they come back knowing something more, adding something to their plan, which is helping them really become like a, you know, kind of team. And I kind of see that in the Spurs a little bit. They are a very young team. I know most of their starters and stuff are like 25 and under. So I feel like, you know, I love young people. Obviously, they're my generation, so I'm rooting for them. But I just love how smart we are, and how just like I love how all of us in our careers now are just like really making it known who we are, and really making like a stamp and everything, and putting our names out, because that's just, it's so cool to see other people my age doing that. But yeah, I think the Spurs can definitely beat the Knicks. But the other thing is too, this is the Knicks' first time since like the 70s, bitch. Like, they've been in the playoffs since the phone was created. Like, so the Knicks are hungry too. But overall, I do think it will be a good series. Both teams are hungry. Both teams want a ring. Both teams will bring it. It would be nice to see. But yeah, I think the Spurs are going to win. I do. I think Wemby's going to take it. And then, of course, this is like his first playoffs where he's made it to the finals. And then he'll have a ring. So I don't know if that's history made. But that whole little thing will be like a nice little thing for the NBA, you know. And then, of course, Wemby, they want him to be the face of the NBA. And he's like next up for a superstar in the NBA. So I feel like, hey. But if they don't win, then next year they'll definitely be right back, you know. So yeah, I'm just rooting for the Spurs though. But the Knicks, once again, I hope each team brings it. Don't make it easy for nobody. Once again, maybe it'll go to game 7. I think it will definitely go to game 5 to game 6. Excuse me. To game 7. I definitely don't think it's gonna be a sweep. But yeah, I think it will definitely go to game 6 though. So I'm gonna say Spurs in 6. But it could be 7. Cause the Knicks, they be a little, especially once they get at their Madison Square Garden and they get home and stuff, they be acting like, ooh, 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 ooh. Like, they really be showing out. Like, okay. But that's the advantage because everything is going to be at the Spurs for the most part. You know, they're going to have 2 games at the Spurs, then 2 games at the Knicks, then. So maybe that will actually work in the Spurs' advantage. They'll just have to watch out for them 2 Madison Square Gardens, you know. But after that, they had an advantage because they'll have the home games. Maybe this is actually kind of smart. I kind of like this. But we shall see. But I am going with the Spurs. This will just be so exciting to watch. Both 2 great teams, and obviously both have earned it. So congrats to both. And so yeah, I think that's all I have to say for the last round of the NBA. Afterwards, I will come back and just talk a little bit about how it went, of course, and everything like that. But you know, if you're a fan of both teams or either teams or whatever, if this is your team in there, congratulations to you as well. And I hope that you guys are being safe and responsible, especially with these games. I know that y'all be tailgating and drinking and turning up and having a great time partying and stuff, no problem. But please be safe. Please make it home. It is a blessing to make it home. You know, take Ubers, call a friend, call a parent, call a trusted adult if you need to. But please be safe and kind to each other. And you know, yes, this is sports, but we all trying to make it back home and continue living our own lives, okay? All right. Please know you are welcome and safe to share whatever you want to share in the comments. And yeah, I love you guys. Me and Wemby will be taking over the NBA. For real though, shout out to everybody that's playing everything. And I hope everybody stay healthy as well. Because like last year with the ACL tears and stuff, Lord, or the Achilles tears, ooh. I was literally watching game 7 and I was like, I hope nobody gets hurt. Like, that shit would suck if anybody on either team got hurt. But thankfully nobody got hurt. So yeah, I love you guys. Bye.